it's one of the biggest challenge for a lot of global companies is always coming down to trust, because not only nationally, it's a difficult thing to know who to trust and who are especially in your business where you're dealing with such a large volumes and such a large quantities of capital being traded all the time, very fast, in fact, too. So was there any of that sort of issue in China, or you encountered that when you were early on selling to China, or was China a little bit better?
Well, I don't know if it was better, but we handled things carefully.
Okay.
Here in Ontario, because we're also a money company,
Right.
we're regulated by the Ontario authorities. So, there's no undue risk. You have to do things according to policy and what have you. Mm-hmm. And our ability to be able to provide a local grocer with lines of credits, etc., mm-hmm. is not that there's no risk. Of course, there's always risk. Mm-hmm. But it's different than saying to a company in China, we're going to provide you open terms and we're going to provide, pay us when you get the product. We can't do any of that.
Right.
So it's important that we work on letters of credits.
What are letters?
Letter of credit is a financial tool
okay.
that enables buyer's bank, seller's bank to speak together. And
okay.
through that process in a document, the monies are secured on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a pre-allocated fund
right.
to ensure that if the goods do get to China, because we're talking a lot of money here, mm-hmm. that you are going to get, they are going to get, well, you're going to get paid.
Yes.
Where you're going to get paid.
Yes,
right.
exactly. Okay. And there's some China entities that don't want to work with letters of credit. So the alternative is what's called TT. Which
okay.
is a reference of transfer of funds. And so when dealers would place an order for, we have a very good customer in Chengdu, China, who buys chicken from us regularly. And there's no LC, there's no open terms. So when they place an order for 10 containers, say, they're transferring 30% of that total value to us. We in turn pay the provider in Brazil. Mm-hmm. When the product is finished and shipped and on the water, original documents are prepared, and that's when the balance is due. We say to the customer, here's a copy of those documents.
Of the shipment leaving
Of the
port.
shipment, yeah.
Okay.
And the product is on the water, it's in the ocean.
Right.
So it's on the way.
Right. So there's no way for you to like say, oh, let's pull the product.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. But here's the difference, Steve.
Okay.
The difference is that the customer receives documents from us and they pay us. We pay the provider. If we don't get paid, the original bill of lading is still in the hands of, in control of Grocer Capital Group. It's not transferred.
Right.
Until final payment is made. So
right.
we own that product.
Right.
As it flows in the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then, I mean, my question would be, because it's on the way to China, I forgot, but you have warehouses that you can, because if they don't buy it, then essentially you have to store it.
Well, you have to store it, and we would have to pay for storage facilities, but generally speaking, we have clients, we wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay.
We would always find a buyer for that product.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's something that, if he's not going to buy it, somebody else is going to take it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, because that would be, a risk if on certain product, because the demand is slightly different. But yes. I guess with, soft commodities and proteins is completely different. Somebody's going to buy the chicken, somebody's going to buy the chicken.
Yeah, the proteins, when you have a few containers, that's it is a risk, but it's a workable risk.
Okay.
You don't want that to happen when it comes to commodities, though,
right?
Because it could be an ocean liner with 60,000 metric tons of soybeans in the hull that you don't take the risk and work on TT. So in that regard, yes, it has to be confirmed letters
Gotcha.
of credit.
Yeah, because I can see a lot of things that can happen, when it comes to this. I mean, this happens with every business. Mm-hmm. It comes down to trust, but especially with what you get, because you're selling such a huge quantities. The capitals are being transferred in such a large amount that there needs to be these processes in place. Otherwise, be a lot of issues, I can imagine.
Correct.